Alldus podcast is brought to you by Alldus International, supplying your expert AI and digital transformation staffing needs across the US and Europe. Today, you are listening to our AI in Action series, where leading minds in AI from across the world share their story, success, and advice. AI in Action cuts through the hype and explores the true impact of artificial intelligence in our world today.
You're listening to AI in Action. I'm your host, JP Valentine. Our guest today is Drew Hartley. Drew is the VP of Solutions Engineering at pWin.ai. Drew, welcome to the show.
Thanks, JP. Excited to be here.
We're delighted to have you. So Drew, let's jump straight in. Let's start with yourself, please. Can you give us an overview of your background in technology and what your own journey has been from where you got started, some of the roles you've held along the way, and what's led you to where you are today as the VP of Solution Engineering for pWin.ai?
Yeah, I think overarching across my career, the two biggest sort of passions, interests, and like gravitational pull has been in two things. One, just building teams, companies where people thrive, right? Where people want to work and are excited to work, they're engaged, and we're doing awesome things. And the second one is just bringing powerful technology solutions to customers, right? What's the mission of the company and how's that actually making a difference, and whoever that customer might be. I've done this at a few places throughout my career. I started first 13 years building product and software solutions for a leading top US-based insurance company and building out core insurance systems. Heavy focus on the digital interaction side of that, which was a lot of fun. I grew a ton. I was part of a leadership development program there, which really prepared me well for increasing levels of leadership responsibility and developed me in a lot of ways, and also created a passion for mentoring, both on the finding mentors for myself, but also giving back and being a mentor to others. So that was really great. Learned a ton, grew a lot. From there, I went and spent 4 years at a leading cloud data and AI consulting firm with clients across the government as well as commercial clients. I led a business unit there for multiple years, bringing those solutions to our clients. And then over the last year, there had been helping build out our generative AI capabilities after that technology really hit mainstream with ChatGPT. And having traditional AI capabilities, we obviously wanted to lean into the generative AI side. So that led me to where I am today, which is really cool, is because we started building a generative AI product that we've since taken to market and have even spun off as an independent company, as you mentioned, pWin.ai, back in March. And so now I lead our sales and solution engineers here.
I love it. Thank you so much. So you've teed it up nicely, following your own interest. I definitely want to go back a step and set the stage for the audience who's listening. Tell us all about pWin.ai, who you are, what you do, mission of the business, and then we'll jump into your role and the interesting work that you're doing.
I'll step back and tell a little bit more of a story here in a minute, but let me just start with the punchline. pWin.ai writes the highest quality proposal draft in the industry. That's what we differentiate ourselves by. We do it with the quality of a experienced, trained proposal professional, based on a company's win strategy to make sure that it communicates their value proposition extremely strongly. And so that ultimately we do this in an efficient way so that our customers can spend more time on getting that win strategy just right to increase their chance of winning, and polishing it and ensuring it's just right when they submit it. And all that leads to our customers being able to submit higher quality bids and ultimately win more work. And so that's fundamentally what pWin does, and with lots of different features across it, but ultimately that's where we sit. And the story to get to where we are today has been an exciting one. Like I mentioned, that we was incubated at that consulting company I mentioned. And when generative AI hit the scene, we were trying to find ways to take this exciting technology, right, this sort of toddler technology, if you will, and figure out how do we actually use it in a way that actually adds a lot of value. And we'd played with early versions of LLMs at different points, but frankly, at that point, they were just toys, right? Like they're really cool, but not ready for, production quality yet. And so when GPT-3.5 hit, we started seeing a level of capability that we were like, wait, there's something here. And so we were trying to find ways to use it internally. We felt, again, as a consulting firm responding to proposals, that there was an opportunity to use it to write content and really aid us in our ability to produce proposals that could be submitted. So we started testing that idea, because traditionally in the proposal development space, there are challenges. BD and proposal teams are really busy, understaffed, work crazy hours, and just need powerful tools. But then just the whole aspect of being able to capture content, reuse content, interact with that content, and ultimately form that content that you already have into a powerful proposal response was really key. So that's what we started to build.
Drew, obviously a lot of exciting stuff there, and the explosion of LLMs and ChatGPT and Gen AI has given many companies in different industries an opportunity to leverage it. What is pWin AI doing with the technology that's different, that's unique? And if I was a potential customer, what would you be telling us about it that would help us visualize its use cases?
In this space, there are a variety of tools that are out there. Some companies are using general purpose LLMs, some are building their own solutions. There are other products in this space, and largely I would overgeneralize them and call them GPT wrappers, which you could think of as a chatbot, typically sitting on top of a company's data and interacting directly with that LLM, and that can certainly add value. We felt like there was a gap between what that can provide and getting to something more powerful that can really expedite, but add immense quality into the proposal response process. And back to the point I said on our purpose is ultimately to write a full draft for a proposal response with the highest quality. So we do that. Sort of at the core of that is this paradigm we're following, we've defined, called object-based authoring. So what that means is that a draft comes back to these core objects that a proposal team defines. This, you could call it their win strategy, right? What are those key components that company wants to use to differentiate their response? And the company, the users of that, the team defines those objects, and then our tool takes those objects and expounds upon them into the full written draft, following the best practices that come with writing compelling content for proposal responses. So they do that in the tool in a couple ways. We have this master document that we call the flight plan. Again, going with the copilot theme here of this tool sits alongside you, you're the pilot, and you define that. You enter that your win strategy and those objects of that win strategy into this artifact. But what that also allows is that you don't have to be a prompt engineering expert. And you may have seen this in using chatbots. There is a limitation, which is the quality of your output is limited by the quality of your input or your ability to write prompts in the best way possible. And so you've certainly seen lots of prompt engineering patterns and trainings and all that, those sorts of things. And so we don't want that, though, to be a limitation for our users. And so we have put all the prompts into the tool and inside of a proprietary proposal writing engine. And so that follows all the best practices that come with how you write compelling content. And we are an exclusive partner with a company called Shipley Associates, who've been the leader in this industry for 5 decades of how to respond and write compelling content. And we are able, because of that exclusive partnership, to take all of their best practices and IP and put it into the tool, again, ultimately for our customers' sake, to write the highest quality content. And so that's a key aspect of it. And another implication of that object-based authoring approach is that you get to iterate on the strategy, and you get it right. And then the tool writes the words, saving you a lot of time. And then you can, at the end of the process, polish those words to get it exactly where you want it to be able to submit. And then lastly, for that paradigm, is that it writes the whole proposal. We see that chat interface, that GPT wrapper concept I mentioned, is dependent on the user writing a prompt, looking for a certain set of content. They have to take it, they have to paste it, they have to ask it again. And so they're getting snippets. But then that still creates a lot of work for the user to then now synthesize that all together. And with our solution, the full draft is automatically consistent in voice and style and balanced through that narrative to infuse those win components, those win objects we talked about, so that it reads really well and so that you feel really good about what you're going to submit.
Thank you for that, Drew. It all sounds incredibly exciting, but this is already having an impact with customers, and you guys are getting recognition in the space. So I know you and I were speaking off air. You've got many great examples of success that you're having. Could you share one or two recent stories that would demonstrate the success that pWin is having?
I think just to call out real fast, one I just alluded to a second ago, which is just the fact that we were selected as the exclusive partner for Shipley Associates. Again, they've been the training, best practice, IP leader of how firms can submit bids and increase their chances of winning. And they've been doing that for 5 decades. They've literally written the book on it. And most proposal professionals out there know of Shipley, have gone to their training, have read their content, and they went through a review of the different tools out there and selected pWin as their exclusive partner, which is the first time that they've done that with a tool in their 5 decades of existence. So that's certainly a big accolade for us to be chosen because there are a variety of tools out there with great teams. But for us, that was real affirmation to the unique approach that we're taking to this space. And what's most exciting, though, for our customers, which they'll care more about, is that we get to co-develop the tool now with them. And so we get to pull those best practices into the tool, like I mentioned earlier, so that the content, when it's written inside those prompts that we take care of inside the tool, writes the most compelling content possible, leveraging the Shipley input and those best practices. So that's great because then our customers get to see content and they feel like, wow, that is valuable. Versus, hey, you're just a really cool tool that can write content, but I have to go rewrite all that content, right? That's not the outcome our customers want. And so we think we can get them 80% of the way there to 90% of the way there in developing the content in the tool, and then they can polish the rest of the way there. And we do that with the Shipley best practices. So that partnership was an awesome event for us and continues to yield lots of fruit for our customers. The second is that Microsoft, obviously one of the largest, most impressive companies in the world, just selected pWin for their RFP automation tool, which is obviously another big testament to the tool we've created. And what's interesting, because when you think of Microsoft, they could obviously build any tool they wanted. So for them to say, hey, we want to enable our teams to be able to use a powerful generative AI tool, and we think the best solution isn't to build it internally or to add it into quote unquote Microsoft Copilot stack, but to actually go use a tool like pWin.ai. That's huge. And I think just emphasizes the need for customers in the space to use a specialized solution, not a general purpose Copilot. And that was really exciting. And so Microsoft has recently published that. We've been releasing some case studies about that because they have seen up to a 93% improvement in the speed at which they write a full reviewable draft, which is a huge time savings. On average, we see our customers around 80%, and they're seeing up to 93%. So for them to get that point is awesome. And we're excited to continue to deliver the tool to other customers in the space. And it's always awesome to hear their feedback on how the tool is really adding value and really helping the proposal team, which often spends nights and weekends working on proposal responses. And so to be able to expedite that whole process and give them back a little bit of that time is huge.
You are listening to the Alldus podcast. When you're looking to scale your team, or if you are interested in showcasing your company in a future episode, reach out today. Or if you're in the market for a new role, visit our website to view open positions, www.alldus.com.
Before we look ahead, I want to just get you to recap on looking back over your shoulder now and the journey to date. What are some of the takeaways on why pWin has had a successful journey? What has made you guys stand out from the crowd? And when you look back, if there was a few things you could put your finger on, what would they be?
I think the story of how we got to where we are is a cool story. And I think it's maybe more universally applicable to different listeners out there as they think about using generative AI inside their context and their companies. And, at the time, again, we were with a consulting company and generative AI hit the scene. And we really started this iterative process that went from, frankly, just a basic learning exercise that evolved to this process of forming a hypothesis and evaluating whether or not that hypothesis we felt like could be achieved, and then actually building something and then ultimately rolling it out and scaling it from there. This could have ended at any different point in that process. And so with any new technology, I think there's an opportunity to say, hey, let me just start by trying to understand it. Again, whether this is at an organizational level or an individual level. So spending time understanding generative AI, and there's so much opportunity to learn out there, but there's just a lot of YouTube videos, training content. It's just lots of content for people to start learning about it. So that's what we did, again, with the goal to try to take that expertise to our customers. And it was through learning that we said, I think there's a way to use this technology internally. And we formed that hypothesis, right? That said, this technology could add value to writing proposal responses. And we did an evaluation to prove, does that use case meet the features of this technology? And we felt like it did. And then we went to this iterative development process where we said, let's start with some R&D and see if we could wire something up. And then it turned into a POC that said, hey, can we actually build out the concept? And then it was an MVP, right? That said, okay, here are the basic features. Can we actually give this to some customers, some friends in the community, and see what they think? And all along the way, getting affirmation, not that they were all successes, right? We've certainly, failed in certain aspects and tripped in others, but getting enough validation that there was something there. It turned into a product, and now it's turned into a company that we're scaling and rolling out and hiring. So I think with generative AI today, I think there's just a lot of people and companies trying to figure out, okay, what do we do with it? It's ripe with opportunity, but sometimes can feel hard to realize something tangibly. And I think that's one of the things that's exciting for pWin is we have found this is a real solution for a real problem, where some people out there are trying to find, they have a solution, they're trying to find the problem. And so I think going through that iterative process to learn, evaluate, form hypotheses, test them out, and expand from there has been a really cool story that we've seen others be able to apply to their context, which has been cool to see.
Drew, thank you for all of that. So I want to spend the final part of our conversation on looking ahead, which, given the success that pWin has already had since launching and as a spin-off, only last year, you've already accomplished so much. So when you look at the next chapter, particularly the near term, what is it that you're excited about? What are you hoping to accomplish? And when we get you back on the show 1 or 2 years from now, what will we be talking about?
We're so excited with what we've been able to accomplish in really a short time. I think we're onto something. I think we have a differentiated approach, and I think the market has seen that. And so it's great to just see that product market fit and get that affirmation. And so to be where we are 4 months in is awesome. Publicly 4 months in is awesome. But the mission is so much more in front of us than it is behind us. There's so many features that our customers have asked for, that we see being able to add value. And so just being able to take the product in its current form and then as it's going to evolve over every month going forward is just super exciting. We see just such an opportunity, especially for the BD and proposals professionals who, again, so often spend nights and weekends trying to rally together to meet aggressive deadlines. I just think there's so much we can do to help them and help companies just be able to present their value proposition in powerful ways and to be able to go win business. And we want to be a partner that helps that happen. So that's one. I think 2 is really just about building an amazing company where people thrive and love working. And again, to be one of the few, frankly, in the grand scheme of things, native generative AI companies out there that has actually been able to take this technology and form something that adds tangible value is awesome, right? So many are still trying to figure out what to do with this tech. And so to be able to have something that's real that we've been able to prove works has been really cool. And so being able to grow our team with people, that are excited to contribute in this space and make our product and our company better is the second aspect. So I just see so much opportunity in front of us right now. And I think what we all know is AI is evolving so fast, and AI is evolving so fast. Who knows what it's going to look like in 1 year, and would love to come back and talk about that. What I do know is whatever shifts are out there, it's going to be exciting, and there's going to be ways to leverage AI to add real value in immense ways. So we're really excited to do that, growing our team quickly with people who are behind that mission, and excited to see where we go from here.
Drew, thank you so much for coming on today and talking to us. It was a pleasure. It was great to learn about your own background, get some insight onto the incredible journey in today, so early in launching as a business, but already accomplished so much, which when we think of the rate of pace and development in AI, it's not surprising, but exciting times ahead for you and your team for sure, and lots of growth. So we very much look forward to having you back on the show again in the near future. So best of luck to you, the team, and everyone at pWin.ai, and we will have you back on very soon.
Thanks, JP. This is wonderful. Take care.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Alldus podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and any Android podcast of choice. You can also head over to our website, www.alldus.com, to listen to more podcasts, view our open roles, and stay up to date with industry news. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more great episodes coming very soon.